Crash landing. Enemies in the wreckage. The alien warship moved fast through space, but something was wrong. Red lights flashed across the control room. Alarms screamed. The ship shook as something hit it from behind. The alien crew shouted in their strange language, trying to keep control. In a dark metal cell, a human sat with his hands tied. His name was Lieutenant Ryan Hale. He had been captured during a space battle between humans and the Zarnak Empire, a war that had killed millions. Now Ryan sat bruised and tired, watching the chaos through the bars of his prison. Outside, the alien captain, a tall Zarnak warrior named Commander Vor, was giving orders. His skin was dark green, his armor cracked from the last battle. His sharp yellow eyes burned with anger. He hated humans. "Shields down!" One of the alien crew screamed. "Brace for impact!" Vor shouted back. The ship spun out of control. "Fire!" burst from one of the engines. The stars outside disappeared as the ship fell toward a strange planet below. Ryan grabbed the edge of his seat as the ship crashed through the atmosphere. The noise was deafening. Metal tore apart. Lights exploded. Then, boom. Everything went black. Ryan woke to silence. His head hurt. Smoke filled the air. He pushed a piece of metal off his chest and sat up. The ship was wrecked. Fire crackled from broken machines. Bodies of alien crew were scattered around, dead. The cell door had been broken during the crash. He was free. He stepped over rubble and fire, searching for a way out. Then he saw him, Commander Vor, injured, but alive, trapped under part of the ceiling. For a moment, Ryan froze. This was his enemy, the one who ordered his capture, the one whose people destroyed human colonies. He could leave him there. But something inside stopped him. Ryan moved closer and pulled the debris off Vor's leg. The alien growled in pain. His eyes opened slowly. "You?" Vor said. "Yeah." "Me?" Ryan replied. "Don't thank me." Vor sat up with a grunt, then looked around. "Crew?" "Dead," Ryan said. "We're the only ones left." The two enemies stared at each other. No words. Just silence. Outside, a strange wind howled. "Where are we?" Ryan asked. Vor looked at a small wrist device. "Unknown planet. Not on any map. Dangerous atmosphere. We must leave soon." "How?" "The ship's gone," Ryan said. Vor stood slowly. "Then we survive. Together." Ryan laughed. "You want to work with me now?" "I don't like it," Vor said. "But I like death less." They stepped out of the broken ship and onto the planet's surface. The sky was dark purple. Two suns shined weakly through thick clouds. Tall black trees reached into the sky like claws. The ground was dry and cracked. "This place feels wrong," Ryan whispered. "This is not just a planet," Vor said. "This is a graveyard." They walked away from the crash, moving slowly. Both injured, both watching the shadows. Suddenly, they heard a deep roar. Not from far, both stopped. "That wasn't the wind," Ryan said. "We are being watched," Vor added. They ran. Not far, but enough to find a small cave. Inside, they built a fire. The light was weak, but it gave some comfort, so, Ryan said, sitting against the wall, "We're enemies, but now we're stuck together." "Great." Vor didn't smile. "I still don't trust you, human." "Same," Ryan replied. Outside, the roar came again, closer this time. Ryan looked at the fire. "Let's just try not to die tonight." Vor nodded, and in the distance, something moved between the trees, tall, fast, and not alone. The true danger of this planet had only just begun. No choice, but each other. Night had fallen. Not the kind of night Ryan Hale knew from Earth. This was darker, colder. The stars above were sharp and strange, and the two moons gave off a sickly green light. The wind carried whispers like something old was speaking through the trees. Inside a cave, the fire cracked weakly. Ryan sat with his knees pulled up, watching Commander Vor across the flames. The alien captain was silent, sharpening a jagged piece of metal, not as a weapon, As a warning, neither of them had slept. "Do your people always snore like dying machines?" Ryan asked, trying to break the silence. Vor didn't even look up. "Do your people always talk when they should listen?" Ryan smirked. "Fair." Then came the noise again. A low growl, followed by soft footsteps. Both of them froze. Ryan quickly picked up a sharp pipe from the cave floor. Vor raised his improvised blade. They listened. Silence. Then, a loud screech. Not animal. Not machine. Something in between. "It's hunting us," Ryan whispered. "Whatever it is." "No," Vor replied. "It's playing with us." The next morning they walked through the jungle carefully. The trees were black and bone-like. Every step made a sound, and every sound felt too loud. They found strange symbols carved into rocks and trees. Spirals, eyes, something that looked like chains. "What do these mean?" Ryan asked. Vor examined one of the symbols. "Zarnak history speaks of planets like this, old battlegrounds, cursed lands. We thought they were myths." "Lucky us," Ryan said. "Crashed right into a ghost story." Suddenly a sharp sound echoed through the trees. Metal hitting metal. They dropped down, hiding in thick roots. Something walked past them. Tall, thin, wrapped in black wires, its face covered in armor. It dragged a spear with glowing tips. It stopped near the symbol, touched it, then walked away without noticing them. It wasn't native to the planet. It was sent here, just like them. They waited an hour before moving again. Later that day, they found a small waterfall and decided to rest. Vor took off his armor piece by piece, and his chest was badly bruised, purple and red marks across his green skin. "You should have told me you were bleeding inside," Ryan said. "You are. Not my medic," Vor replied coldly. "We're the only people here," Ryan snapped. "If you die, I'm alone. If I die, so are you. It's not about liking each other. It's survival." Vor didn't respond for a moment. Then he handed Ryan a small metal syringe. "Pain blocker," he said. "Zarnak formula. Won't kill you." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "You sure about that?" "No," Vor said. Ryan injected it anyway. Moments later, the pain in his ribs faded. He exhaled slowly. "Thanks, I guess." They sat there in silence again, but this time, it felt a little less cold. As the sun began to set again, they built another fire. Ryan looked up at the strange stars. "I used to think aliens were monsters," he said. "Then I became a soldier. Then I got captured. Then I met you." Vor looked into the fire. "And now?" Ryan shrugged. Still deciding. Then came the scream. Not far, not human, not alien, something else. They stood up fast, ready for a fight. From the shadows. A shape charged toward them. Fast, four-legged, skin like glass with eyes that glowed red. It leapt at Ryan, but Vor tackled it midair. They crashed to the ground. Vor stabbed it through the eye. The creature twitched, then went still. Blood like black oil soaked into the ground. Ryan stared. "You saved me." Vor stood, breathing hard. "Next time, save yourself." They dragged the body near the fire, studying it. "What is it?" Ryan asked. Vor looked uneasy. "Not natural. Bioengineered. It has human and Zarnak DNA mixed with something else. Someone's experimenting here," Ryan said. "No," Vor whispered. "Someone is watching. Testing." They both looked up at the sky. In the distance, through the trees, they saw it. A blinking red light. It wasn't from the ship. It was a signal, or a trap. Either way, they had to find out. Strange signals and old secrets. Night didn't end on this planet. The two moons moved across the sky like glowing scars, but the darkness never fully lifted. For Ryan and Vor, every hour felt like a countdown. But they didn't know what to. They had been walking for hours through broken forests, climbing over sharp rocks and stepping through mud that hissed when touched. Neither spoke much. Words had become useless. Only instincts mattered now. But then Ryan heard it again. Click. 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 Not from nature, not from a beast. It was rhythmic, electronic. Hear that? Ryan asked, raising his hand. Vor paused and closed his eyes. His ears twitched slightly, but different from humans, more sensitive. Northwest. Not far. A signal, Vor said. They both moved fast, but carefully. Whatever it was, they didn't want it to see them first. They arrived at a small ridge. Below, hidden under vines and rock, was a half-buried satellite dish blinking with a dull red light. Ryan knelt beside it. The technology was strange. Half human, half alien. This isn't from your ship, Ryan said. It's not from Zarnak Tech either, Vor replied. This is older. The blinking light changed color. Then a sound came, a voice broken and glitchy. Unit 04 and stranded, Protocol 11 in effect, and survivors must... The message cut out. They both froze. Ryan looked at the dish. Someone else crashed here before us. Or, they were left here, Vor added. They followed the signal wire deeper into the jungle. It led to something even more shocking. A small bunker, hidden behind thick roots and broken stone. Human markings were on the door, and Zarnak ones too. This isn't just a bunker, Ryan whispered. This was a base. They pushed the door open. Inside, the air smelled like metal and old blood. Dust floated in the air. Lights flickered. Computers lined the walls, some broken, some still powered. Ryan touched a screen. It lit up. A message flashed. Test cycle 417. Observation in progress. Subjects failed to cooperate. Subjects? Ryan said slowly. Vor's face hardened. This planet is not an accident. It's a lab. They went deeper inside. The hallway led to a large central room. On one wall there were photos, human and Zarnak soldiers. Some crossed out, others marked with numbers. In the middle was a large display screen. Ryan pressed a button. A hologram appeared. Not human. Not Zarnak. Something older, taller, pale skin, black eyes. It spoke in a calm, cold voice. We built this place to end wars, by forcing enemies to survive together. If they fail, they die. The voice stopped. Vor stepped back. This is a testing ground, a trap made by another race, ancient, long gone. Ryan stared at the pictures. They've been doing this for decades, maybe centuries. He pointed at one face. A human woman. That's my mother. Vor looked at him. What? She disappeared during the first Zarnak War. They said she died in space. But she was here. Ryan's voice shook. And she didn't make it out. Suddenly, alarms inside the bunker began to blare. Unauthorized life. Detected. They know we're here, Vor said, grabbing his blade. Ryan pulled him back. Wait, look. A nearby wall opened. Inside was a small box with a blinking blue light. A transmitter. We can use this to send a signal, Ryan said. Or it could be bait, Vor replied. Everything here is bait, Ryan said. But we're out of time. They powered the device. A message typed itself across the screen. Transmit. Request. Only one life form may exit. Both men stood still. One of us can leave, Ryan said. Vor looked away. The test was never about teamwork. It was a game, with only one winner. A sharp metallic sound echoed in the hall behind them. Then another. They weren't alone. The creatures returned. This time not just one. 5 of them, all with red glass skin, long claws, moving like wolves, but thinking like soldiers. They had evolved. Run! Vor shouted. They ran through the halls, lights flickering above them. Creatures crawling on walls and ceiling. They reached the outside, but the ground shook. Something big was coming. Not one of them. Something older. A tall black tower stood in the distance, just barely visible behind the trees. Lightning struck behind it. What's that? Ryan asked. Vor didn't answer. His eyes were wide. You know what it is, Ryan said. Vor spoke slowly. That is where the test ends. And maybe where it started, Ryan said. Then we go there, Vor said, together. Ryan nodded, and behind them the jungle screamed. The ruins and the truth. The tower was older than anything they had ever seen. Teeming didn't look like a building. It looked like a wound in the planet itself. Sharp black metal reaching into the clouds like broken bones. Vines grew over it, but the air around it was dead. Nothing moved near it, not even insects. Ryan and Vor stood at its base. The door opened by itself. No sound. No wind. Just a silent welcome. I have a bad feeling about this, Ryan muttered. Then, you are finally learning, Vor replied. They stepped inside. The inside was darker than night. As they walked, the lights turned on behind them. Dim, cold blue, like the stars had been trapped in the walls. Everything echoed. Their footsteps, their breathing. Even their thoughts felt louder. On the walls were symbols. Some human, some Zarnak, and many neither. We're not the first, Ryan whispered. We may be the last, Vor replied. In the center of the tower was a massive round room. The floor was made of glass, and beneath it lights flickered like city lights. But there were no cities on this planet. What is this place? Ryan asked. Suddenly the floor lit up under them. A hologram appeared, floating in the air. A figure with no face wrapped in shifting light. It spoke. Observation complete. Final test begins now. Subject 1. Human war survivor. Emotionally unstable. Loss of parent. Trust issues. Subject 2. Zarnak commander. Battle scars. Tribal loyalty. Rage disorder. Ryan and Vor looked at each other. One will live. One will evolve. One will die. The hologram disappeared. A new door opened. We should turn back, Ryan said. We passed the point of turning back the moment we crashed, Vor replied. They walked forward, into the unknown. The new hallway was full of mirrors, but the mirrors didn't reflect the present. They showed memories. Ryan saw himself as a boy, hiding under a table during a space bombing. His mother pulled him close, whispering, "Stay quiet. Stay alive." He looked away. Vor stood frozen in front of his mirror. It showed him as a young soldier standing over a pile of human bodies. His hands were shaking. Behind him, his commander shouted praise. He smashed the mirror with his fist. "They're using our pasts against us," Vor said. "Or trying to wake something up inside us," Ryan replied. In the next room, they found a large pool of water. But the water wasn't normal. It was black like ink and moved as if alive. A platform rose from the center of the pool, and on it sat a body, half human, half Zarnak. "What is that?" Ryan whispered. "It's a fusion," Vor said. "They've tried combining us before." Suddenly, the body twitched, its eyes opened, one blue, one yellow. "Help. Me," it said in a broken voice. Ryan stepped forward, but Vor pulled him back. "No," Vor growled. "That thing is not alive. It's bait." "You don't know that," Ryan snapped. "I do, because it looks like one of my dead soldiers." They left the room, but the thing's eyes followed them until the doors closed. The next chamber was circular, with chairs placed in a ring. Each chair had bones beneath it, some human, some alien. In the center, a pillar of light. A screen above read, "We wanted peace. So we created fear. We wanted unity. So we created the perfect enemy. Each other. You were never meant to win the war. You were meant to feed it." Ryan's voice was shaking. They started the war." "No," Vor said. "They designed us to keep it going." The screen showed more. A rotating list of names. Soldiers, captains, prisoners. All marked failed. At the bottom, 2 names. Ryan Hale, pending commander. Force pending, the final room was empty, except for 2 chairs and 1 console. On the console, a button and a question. "Do you choose each other or yourselves?" Vor looked at Ryan. "What is this?" "I think, if we both sit, we pass," Ryan said. "And if one presses the button?" Vor asked. They escape alone. Silence. A long one. Vor walked toward the button. Ryan stepped forward. Don't. Why not? Vor asked. I have nothing left. My people would rather see me dead than allied with a human. I have no one either, Ryan said quietly, but maybe that's why we have to survive. Not for the ones who left us, but for the ones who come next. You would trust me? Vor asked. Do you trust me? Ryan asked back. They stared at each other. Vor stepped back from the button. Let's sit, he said. They sat. Nothing happened. For a moment, they thought they had failed. Then the walls shifted. Light poured in. A voice echoed. For the first time in 417 trials, both chose the other. The test is complete. A hatch opened in the ceiling. Above, a rescue ship hovered. But even as they were pulled up by the beam, Ryan looked down. Beneath the glass floor, where the lights once danced, he saw something move. 1,000 more chambers. Thousands of bodies. Some still alive, some still waiting. The test was over for them, but for others, it had only begun. The hunt begins. The rescue ship was silent. Sleek. Silver. Perfect. Too perfect. Ryan and Vor stood inside its main deck, staring at the blinking control panels. There were no crew, no voices, only soft humming sounds and the faint hiss of pressurized air. They hadn't spoken since they were lifted out of the ruins. Both were thinking the same thing. This was too easy. As the doors slid shut behind them, Ryan noticed something strange. No windows. He looked at Vor. Have you ever seen a ship like this? Vor shook his head. This is not Zarnak. Not human either. Then who sent it? Before Vor could answer, a soft female voice echoed from the ceiling. Subjects confirmed. Preparing next sequence. Ryan's heart stopped. What did she say? He whispered. Next sequence? The ship jolted forward, not into open space, but into a tunnel of light. They weren't going home. The next time they woke up, they were in another room. White, clean, circular. A single camera stared down at them like a cold eye. I hate this, Ryan muttered. Vor cracked his neck. I will kill whoever's behind it. The door opened with a slow hiss. Outside, a hallway. This one wasn't broken or old like the ruins. It was new, active, alive. The lights pulsed like a heartbeat. They followed the path in silence. Soon, they reached a chamber and filled with screens, rows and rows of them. Each one showed a different pair, human and alien, some fighting, some crying, some already dead. Vor stared. This is a factory. No, Ryan said. It's a farm. They grow conflict here, and feed on it. On one screen, they saw themselves, back in the jungle, hiding in the cave. A voice spoke again, but this time it wasn't from a speaker. It came from a door behind them. A tall being stepped out. Humanoid but covered in silver skin, no mouth, 6 eyes that blinked in perfect rhythm. You survived. You adapted. Impressive. Ryan raised a pipe from the ground. Who the hell are you? The being stepped closer. We are the architects, creators of your war, your fear, your hate. We built the Zarnak humans' conflict to observe evolution. Vor bared his teeth. You made us kill each other? We gave you purpose, the being said. You gave us data. Another screen lit up. A countdown. 72 hours. Final sequence begins now, the being said. You are no longer test subjects, you are predators or prey. They were dropped back into a new environment, different from the planet. Cleaner, colder, like a controlled ecosystem, tall grass, metal trees, artificial storms in the sky. Voice in the air gave the rules. Remaining pairs. Only one pair may survive. Resources limited. Hunt or be hunted. Ryan looked around. We're in a death game. Vor checked a nearby console growing out of the ground. Each pair is being tracked. Each kill is rewarded. What kind of reward? Extraction, Vor said. Freedom. Ryan stared into the sky. No more sitting. No more waiting. We end this. They moved fast through the terrain, hiding in shadows, staying off the scanner grids. Soon, they heard shouting. Not human. 2. Zarnak soldiers, not like Vor, heavily armored, chasing a limping human. The human tried to climb a wall but slipped. The Zarnak aimed a spear. Ryan didn't think. He threw his blade, direct hit. One Zarnak fell. The other turned, and Vor tackled him into the wall. A sharp crack, silence. The human stared at them, terrified. You saved me? He asked. Ryan nodded. For now. But you're on your own. They moved on. That night, they found a hollow beneath an artificial hill. They made a fire from strange metal shards and wires. The flames flickered green. Ryan sat quietly. Vor looked at him. Why did you help that man? Vor asked. Because once someone helped me when I was helpless, Ryan said. Someone with green skin and yellow eyes. Vor was silent. Then, if only our people could see us now. Ryan smiled faintly. They probably wouldn't believe it. Vor picked up a stone. What happens if we make it out? Ryan's smile faded. I don't know. The next day, the real hunt began. Explosions, screams, death all around. They moved like ghosts, never staying in one place, never leaving a trail. At one point, they found the body of another human Zarnak pair, killed not by others, but by each other. Rage had taken them. Mistrust had broken them. That could have been us, Ryan said. Vor nodded. But we chose differently. Later, they reached a large tower in the center of the arena. The final location, on top, a beacon, blinking red. Vor checked the console nearby. Last 3 pairs, he said. We're one of them. Ryan looked at the beacon. We get there first, we end this. But something moved in the grass behind, them a blur. Metal claws. No voice. Not another pair. Something else. Ryan turned. Get down. Betrayal or sacrifice? The grass exploded. Metal claws tore through the air, ripping into the dirt where Vor had just stood. The creature wasn't part of the hunt. It was something more. A failsafe. Engineered. Silent. Efficient. Not sent to test. Sent to clean up. Ryan fired a stolen plasma round from his shoulder cannon, hitting the beast in the side. It didn't scream. It just adapted. Its armor folded. Reshaped. The next blast bounced off. Vor charged forward, leapt, stabbed deep into the creature's throat with a sharpened pole. It fell back, gurgled, then stood again. Too fast. Too strong. We can't fight this, Ryan shouted. Run! They fled toward the tower. The tower loomed above them. Silver, smooth, humming, with energy. The beacon at its top pulsed faster now, red and urgent. Inside there was only one elevator. As the door slid shut, the creature slammed against the outer walls, snarling through the cracks. They didn't speak. Not yet. But both were thinking the same thing. This ends now, one way or another. At the top of the tower was a white room. One chair. One screen. One console. Above it, a message scrolled in cold, perfect text. Final extraction possible. Only one slot remains. Ryan read it twice, then looked at Vor. His stomach twisted. We did everything right, he said softly. Vor walked to the console. They never wanted us both to survive. It was never about peace. He turned to Ryan. They want us to choose. Again, the screen blinked. Begin final selection. 2 buttons appeared. Extract. Human. Extract. Zarnak backed away from it like it was poison. No. We're not doing this. If we don't choose, Vor said, the creature finishes the job. Then we fight it again. Together. And if it kills us both? Then at least we didn't betray each other. Vor stared at him. Then, he stepped forward and placed his hand on the human button. Ryan's eyes widened. What are you doing? You have more to give, Vor said. Your people may still listen to reason. Mine won't. They would call me a traitor. They'd kill me anyway. Stop, Ryan said. Don't do this. Vor didn't move, but the button didn't activate. Instead, the screen flashed. Human cannot authorize alien sacrifice. They both stared. The rules had changed again. They won't even let us choose death for each other. Vor said with a bitter laugh. A voice filled the room, not the smooth female voice from before. This one was older, colder, real. You learned to trust each other. Impressive. But what will you do when that trust becomes a weapon? You are the last two. Only one can leave, and one must choose. A panel opened. Inside, a small pulse rifle, glowing with energy. Ryan's chest tightened. What the hell is this? Vor stepped back. One of us has to pull the trigger. You're joking, Ryan whispered. They want us to decide like this? They're not joking, Vor said. For a moment, there was silence. Then Ryan picked up the gun. He held it tightly, not shaking, but not steady. Do it, Vor said. Just make it quick. No. I gave you a chance already. Now take it. Ryan raised the rifle, then turned it and smashed it against the wall. Once, twice, 3 times, until it cracked and sparked. Useless. I'm not playing their game, he growled. The screen blinked. Non-compliance detected. Initiating force resolution. The door behind them hissed. The creature stepped in. No longer hunting. Now executing. They fought with everything they had. Ryan took the creature's legs. Vor targeted the neck. The fight lasted 3 minutes. Vor bled from the shoulder. Ryan had 3 cracked ribs. They managed to pin it under a collapsing beam, but not before it drove a spike deep into Vor's side. He fell. Hard. Blood pooled fast. Vor. Ryan rushed to him, panicking. Vor's breathing slowed. No. No, 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 you stay with me. Vor looked at him and gave a half smile. Guess the choice was made for us. Don't say that, Ryan said. Take the console, Vor said. Go. Live. Tell them the truth. Tell them we were more than enemies. Ryan held Vor's hand. I won't leave you. Yes. Vor whispered. You will. As Vor faded, the screen changed again. One life form detected. Extraction permitted. A final door opened, a bright white light. Ryan turned back once, then walked through 1 week later. Earth. The sky was gray. The war had paused, not ended, but paused. Ryan stood before the Global Council. He wore a black suit. Vor's blade was strapped across his back. They asked him questions. He told them everything. The facility, the tests, the ancient race, the false war, the real truth. Some didn't believe. Some were terrified, but all listened. And somewhere in the stars, something else was listening too. Escape and new beginnings. 3 days after Ryan's return to Earth, the sky turned red. Not from war. Not yet. From a message. A symbol appeared in the atmosphere, visible across every continent. A glowing eye surrounded by 6 rotating rings. The same symbol carved in the ruins where it all began. People panicked. Leaders demanded answers. Some thought it was an alien attack, but Ryan knew better. They were watching. Again. He sat alone in a secure underground base beneath the Global Council chamber. He had repeated the truth to a dozen governments. Most didn't believe him. Some wanted to use what he knew. Others wanted to silence him, but he didn't care about politics anymore. He cared about one thing. Vengeance. A hidden room deep in the facility held the pulse beacon recovered from his suit. The tech was not human. Not Zarnak. Architect tech. A quiet voice suddenly filled the chamber. Welcome back, Subject Zero. Ryan spun around. A figure stepped from the shadows. Not fully human, not fully alien. Female. Elegant. Wearing silver, armor that hummed softly. Her eyes were black. Her voice, familiar. You survived more than we expected, she said. You were not meant to return. Ryan raised a weapon. You're one of them. No, she replied. I was. But I chose something else. Prove it, Ryan said coldly. The woman stepped forward and pulled a small device from her wrist. She crushed it under her boot. You are free now, she said. But they will come for you, and for your planet, unless you fight back. She told him the truth. The architects were a civilization beyond time. They didn't wage war. They engineered it. They seeded conflict across galaxies, designing enemies, planting fear, controlling evolution. Their test planet was just one of thousands. But why? Ryan asked. Because they believe only conflict creates progress, she said. But sometimes, progress becomes rebellion. Ryan looked at her. You want to help us fight? No, she replied. I want to help you win. With her help, Ryan unlocked hidden files from the facility, recordings of other test survivors, humans, Zarnak, and other unknown species. Most died. A few vanished. One file was corrupted, but it showed a flash of something horrifying. Vor, alive, strapped to a chair, injected, studied. Ryan's hands shook. They lied. They took him, and suddenly, everything inside Ryan snapped into fire. 6 months later, the first strike began, not from the architects, from Earth. A stealth-class human ship fused with alien tech appeared above the architect observation grid near Saturn's orbit. On board, Ryan Hale. And his new crew, fighters from every corner of the old war. Humans. Zarnak. Outcasts. Survivors. Not enemies anymore. A new species. The Unified. They launched the attack with precision, cut the surveillance nodes, disabled the AI cores. But then, the architects responded, with force. Silver ships shaped like knives tore through space, bending light around them. They moved without engines, without sound, like death with purpose. Ryan led the charge himself. Inside his ship was a stolen pulse weapon, powered by the same energy that once judged him. He would now use it to judge them. The battle lasted 13 hours. Most of his crew didn't make it, but Ryan made it inside. The core, he stepped into the architect command station, a tower of black crystal floating in artificial gravity, with lines of ancient code glowing along the walls. Inside a chamber, he found the truth. The architects had created over 10 billion synthetic conflicts across the galaxy, each one generating fear, obedience, evolution. But one project was marked as a failure. Project 417. Human Zarnak Unitarian laughed, then destroyed. The terminal. In the lower chambers, he found a prison, cells filled with forgotten test subjects, and in one of them, Vor alive, barely scarred, broken, but breathing. Ryan stepped in, dropped his weapon, knelt beside him. Vor opened one eye. Took you long enough. Ryan smiled, choking back emotion. Had to find a ship that could carry your ego. Did you bring food? Vor asked. No, then leave me here. Ryan laughed. They escaped together. Again. 1 year later, a monument stood on the edge of the galaxy, not for victory, not for power, but for a promise. On it, a message, written in both human and Zarnak script. We were enemies made by others. Now we are soldiers of our own making. The architects built the war. We built the end. Ryan stood beneath the stars. Beside him, Vor, behind them, a growing fleet. They weren't running anymore. They were building something new, a force that would travel from system to system, not to fight for a flag, but to find the others like them, to break the tests, to tear down the architects, to rewrite the story. Not as victims, not as soldiers, but as survivors who refused to be enemies ever again. The end.